G'day guys and girls, welcome to another AlwaysMoto inspection and an AlwaysMoto production here on YouTube, on our YouTube channel. Today we're going to review the Moto3D standard light and high powered light options that we've now been using for a few weeks here. Got a fair few night rides in, had a ball, absolute ball doing these rides, and that was probably in part due to how well these products performed. So we're going to run through just which one we thought was better, some things to know about them whilst you're working with them, installing them, using them. And we did have a very minor issue with one of them that was easily fixed by the guys at Moto3D, and we thank them for that. Their customer service was amazing. So let's run through that. So look, guys, we've got these. This was the standard option. We've had this one out of the bike now. The last one that we were running in with is our high-powered option. It's sitting there in the headlight. Now both of them have the same mounting plate as such. This is a 3D printed piece done in Victoria in Australia, so it's an Australian made part. Some of the light components aren't necessarily Australian made, but the company is Australian owned and operated, which is fantastic, so support local. But as you can see, guys, this just bolts directly into the existing headlight mounting options. No modifications required. I literally unscrewed the stock headlight, screwed this one straight into place. What you'll notice here, because I'm running a 2017 model 2-stroke 300 KTM, it's a DC operated bike voltage. It needs to be converted to AC, or hold on, I might have got that backwards, but anyway, I'm running one and it's got to be flipped to the other, and that needs a rectifier. Now, this rectifier is something that I purchased through the Moto3D guys as the kit, because they recognize that when you're ordering. And this was just a $50 extra price, but it then converts it. So all it does is take the lead from the light into the rectifier. It puts through the rectifier, comes out into your stock standard KTM headlight thing. That just plugs straight onto the bike. So there was literally no wiring on my part. I had to do nothing. I just literally stuck a piece of Velcro. It's not just your stock standard Velcro. It's one of those finger types that like locks together onto the inside of the headlights throughout here. I stuck that onto it, onto the rectifier, onto that, plugged it in, away we went. Super easy. And same setup on the stock standard light powered one. It's exactly the same plug setups, so that was super easy. Now the issue that we had a minor issue where the little LED lights went out on us. They overheated. They actually melted some of the wiring. We worked out that it was just a little bit of a wiring issue from the factory. It's just one of those usual minor mistakes that occasionally happens when you're putting out lots of product. It was easily corrected. They sent us this new one. It works perfect. It's worked perfect ever since, and it had no issues whatsoever. So it's just one of those one-off glitches, not a major issue, but they fixed it really quickly. They got one sent out to us basically within a couple of days of us inquiring about what had happened. Funnily enough, the main light area had still worked. All I did was to get it to work for the day while I was trying to see what was happening and talking with the guys. I'd clipped off the power leads coming out and just covered them with some insulation tape, and the thing still works. So it was only literally these two little lights, which aren't any aspect of what you'd need when you're riding. It's these big suckers that give all the light off for you. Now, is there any difference in this to this, the stock to the standard to the high powered, when we're on track? Yes, there is. There definitely is. There is a much better light coming out of this. It fills a bit more. There is two different types of beams in the standard one, the flood and the broad beam. It does make a little bit of a difference, and I did like that one. And I think that this would probably work well just on the lower speed single track sort of thing. So depending on what type of riding you're going to do. This being just a lighter weight unit as well, I really like that one. But on general tracks where you got to do a bit of fire road transit, you got to get a bit more light, a bit further along, this one's the go. It does weigh a little bit more. It does stick out of the back of the shroud a little bit more, so you have to pay attention to a little bit of the wiring that's behind the headlight here, that's in front of the triple clamps and the front of the frame there with the bike. But it all basically pushes out of the way, just sits up on top or around, and this sits in place really easy. There's no modifications required. You can literally bolt it in and go. It's fantastic in that aspect. It's a plug and play setup. Great for those modern day sort of options. Now, with these lights and stuff, more light is more light, and that's what you're probably going to hear across all of these different videos. But more light is more light. And on the bike, the fact that you're carrying it on the bike, the weight doesn't make too much difference. If you are worried about the size and fitting in and pushing on something it shouldn't be, well then the lighter, smaller, less strength light beam is for you. It's still 3,200 lumens. It's still a hell of a lot of light. I started the tests with this and the lowest powered clean skin one that you can see sitting over here, the 1000 one, as our options. And I was quite stoked on that and was happy with what I could see at that stage. So I didn't really need anything extra, but obviously there's more options available and more light is more light, as I said. So it did get better and better. But you could have either one of these headlights, high power, low power, and be very happy with your rides. If you're doing more single tracks, I would go with this one. If you're doing just general forest riding, I would go with the high powered one. What else? The only other thing that we'd mention here, two-stroke guys, carbureted bikes that aren't the TSP new models, I would definitely go with this standard power one. The higher power one obviously puts a lot more load on your wiring system. I don't even know for sure that the full benefit of the extra power in this light was able to be used on my bike while I was doing the inspection. You could tell the old school sort of when it got down to the chugga 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 sort of point on the idle, the light would sort of go boom ba-doom 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 with it, and as soon as you'd rev it up, it would pick up the light again. And so as soon as the revs were high, it was putting out more power, which is the usual sort of thing on these sort of two-strokes. The four-stroke bikes, you probably won't have that issue. They have a different setup in their electrics altogether. It's better strength, different current. You don't need the rectifier. And same with the newer model TSPs. They don't need it either. So you'd probably be more beneficial with the newer bike, with the high-power one. An older bike or just a two-stroke carbureted bike, the standard power one would be the go for you. Now, that's pretty much it for these guys. Super stoked on how well they worked, how well they fitted. Didn't have to modify anything. They came with all the parts you needed. It lights up like nothing. It's crazy compared to what your stock headlight on your bike that it comes with. These things don't even compare. They are way better than those stock lights. It's insane how much better they are. Check out some of the photos that I'm going to drop towards the end of this here, where I put up each one of those that I took as a still shot. We've also got some helmet cams that'll come into this video as well. So you get to see what it was like while we're cruising along. But check out the videos here. You'll enjoy them. And then we'll be back after that just to wrap up the video. So there you have it, guys. Those videos clearly show how much light these things are putting out, especially the still shots over that stock headlight setup. It's insane how much extra light there is. So do yourself a favor, guys. These things are amazing. If you're going to ride at night, you should use one. If not, something similar. But if you're an Aussie, you should be definitely buying these from an Australian provider. There is a special discount code that they are doing for us as part of this AlwaysMoto inspection. The discount code is always10off. So that's always 10 off, one word, at your checkout point when you're purchasing on Moto3D's website. Thanks to the guys for doing that. It's awesome. You get a 10% discount just for watching this review and then purchasing from those guys for these products. So get amongst it, guys. Guys and girls, get amongst it. Get yourself a good LED light for your headlight on your bike and go and ride in at the night. You will thank me later. It is some really serious fun and it's super different and it's a new skill. It's just awesome. Go and do it. Awesome. Thanks, guys. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you on the next ones.